Well, hello everyone. Good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Today we are going to be jumping into the internationalizing and localizing our software. This is important when we want to consider the being able to users in other countries or regions to be able to use our software. With that in mind, what exactly are we talking about? In other places, the currency symbols may be different, dates may be formatted differently, numbers may be formatted differently, and all of this, can become confusing for a user in that other region when they are looking at dates or numbers that are not in a format that they can easily recognize. If you want to consider the internationalization and localization of your software from in a more in-depth level, then you also need to take into account things like error messages, labels, menu options, pop-up menu options, the contents of list boxes, the whole kit and caboodle. And this can become a project in itself, where you may need um, to be using third-party software for or even translator to help you migrate or change all those strings from one language into another. Even if we're just going from English to English, shall we say, we've got American English versus UK English, with whether or not we use an S and a Z, or something as simple as the word colour, COLOUR, versus colour, COLOR. So in this particular episode, all we are going to look at really are the what's available out of the box in Delphi or Lazarus, and in specifically then in relation to the currency settings, number settings, and the date and time settings. So without further ado, what we'll do is to open up our Delphi IDE, have a console application, and well, basically go from there and see what damage we can do, shall we? So, let's go. Okay, here we have just a main routine, and we've declared our format settings, and so we can actually get the format settings from the environment. In versions gone by, there was you could just use format settings and to get things like the currency string or whatever. But that is not considered thread safe. Whereas if you were to retrieve retrieve the settings, this is considered more thread safe. Let's have a look at what's in the settings here. To get to the declaration, all I did was hold the control key down, left mouse click, and that takes us over here. So what you do have in here are, let's say, settings like the currency string, the currency format, number of decimals, the date separator, time separators, short date formats, long date formats, time strings, month names, etc. All of these settings here come from in this case here, well, I'm thinking out loud, from the Windows environment, or could be Linux or otherwise, and basically enable numbers, etc., to numbers and dates to be displayed as how the user would like to see them, and not some date format, let's say, that might be imposed on them by your application. If you wanted to, so for example, if you wanted the user to have everything as year, month, and day, well, that may be acceptable for your reporting, or maybe even how you process dates to force the user to use that format may not be intuitive and may not be the most user-friendly thing to do. So what you need to do then is to, let's say, have a way of displaying the information to the user and a way of using that same information, and so on. So here, like I said, we've just got a basic program which will get the settings, and then we will display the currency string, and then we have a read line at the end. So if we were to run this program and see what the result is, you can see that there is a $sign being displayed, and that is it. So we'll go back now to our environment, and let's just say that this time, why don't we now, we want to display a currency to the user, and for that function we may want to use the currency to string function to accomplish that result. This is the function that is also available in the sysutils unit, and here what we're going to do is to display the just say $10 as a string, and let's again see what the result is. In this instance, I just see 10. I don't have any cents being displayed. There is no $sign at the front. Now let's suppose now we wanted to display that value were to be displayed within a report maybe, or a string grid, or even just like a total label in some form. One way you could accomplish this is by using, let's say a function like float to string here, where you have a number being passed in. You want to use the currency format with 10 digits and 2 digits of precision. At least that's what from memory I'm looking at. We can have a look at that. Sorry, 2 digits after the dot and 10 digits of precision. So let us now use that function to accomplish the same result. We make sure we don't have the other stuff there to look at just yet. So here, again, what we're going to be using is the float to string function, and see what the result is here. And this time here we do get, let's say, a properly formatted currency value which you may use in your application. Now the reason why I have put it into a function of my own like that is to remember what the different values are that may be used by the software. Is let's say a little bit problematic to expect each developer to remember that that's going to be 2 digits versus 3 or 4, and so on. So, and what I have also declared it as inline. However, no, that's the text after then. So strictly speaking, whenever this function would be used, it would be swapped out in place. So that is really about it for now. For currencies we're looking at. The next thing that we want to consider now are dates and times. So what we'll do first of all is let's just look at our my current date and time on my system. I might remove those ones, and now what we may also include now is we'll just look at the date in a couple of other formats. So here we're going to display it with the month after the year, and then the day after the month. And this one here we're going to have month, day, year, you could have them in lowercase as well. Each of these settings, has a different. That's off the cap lock. Each of these settings have a different meaning, and you'll see that when the program runs. So we'll run that now, and what happened? No, it's running, and now you can see that the 2024 July 01, so it's the 1st of July. But if you were to look at the first line by itself, and you can see 1/07, well, is it the 1st of July or the 7th of January? We don't really know, and if your program were used to, let's say, displaying things in, let's say, an American format where the month comes first, then you might think it's January, which can be, can be confusing for a user. So rather than let's just, and in the other cases there, you can see here that I've actually output the month name and not the number, but that's okay. That if we have a date time, and let's just say we were going to here, well, actually, let's just do it this way. Let's change this one here to, whoops, what have I done there? Let's remove that line, Control Y, and let's do here encode date, month 2024, the month can be 3 and the day can be 12. So if we just run that again, maybe storing from last time, so let's just close that down again, and we'll run it and see what comes up. And this time here you can see the 12 March 2024. I do have one, if anyone can explain to me why when the program runs it decides to turn Delphi into a windowed application. That would be really great because I find it somewhat annoying. So now the next trick then is, well, what? Okay, so here let's say I may be, hard coding my date format, and I want to be able to use whatever settings are specified by the user. Now, we can look at using the short date format here and the long date format. Here, like I said, it is the 1st of July, so we can just work on the current date, and we're going to use the short date format for that. And for this next line here, we're going to use the long date format. So let's run the application again. Again, the Delphi become windowed. Here you can see that the date is 1st of the 7th 24, and when using the long date format, I can see Monday 1 July 24 as well. So basically, I can see the date in a format that I understand and I can recognize, and I know now that it is actually the 1st of July versus it possibly being in January. So these are just two parts of the format settings that you can use in your applications to present things to the user using settings that they recognize for their region. So have a look at this particular record and what's available in it, that what you can do with your settings, so that you can make yourself or make your application available for other users. Thank you for watching, and if you do like my videos, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button somewhere down there. it means a lot to me and for my channel here that we can spread the love that we have for the language of Pascal, of Object Pascal, of Delphi, whatever name you want to give it. It all helps to spread the message of what's possible in our languages. And I will see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.